welcome back to my channel. My name is Rima and this is That's a Rima TV, and I do Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps where I give my unpopular opinion, unbiased, raw and unfiltered, just commentary about the show as an avid watcher. Real Housewives, really Atlanta, but the franchise in general, practically raised. So the ladies are back in Atlanta from Scotland, and of course, in true Shamea fashion, messy fashion, Shamea decides to throw a Halloween party and invite the green beard lawyer that allegedly is supposed to be having relations with Shamea. And I guess Shamea calls herself trying to vindicate herself. Who knows? But it looks like it didn't go the way Shamea planned. And a lot of people feel like, oh, why is everybody dogpiling on Shamea? But one thing I've learned, if you watch my previous recaps, I'm completely unbiased. I see that while Shamea is the ultimate housewife, on paper, she got the husband, she got the kids, she got the money, she got the beautiful home. However, I just feel like, I'm gonna tell y'all once we get to it. I also believe Shamea throwing a party fresh after Scotland, it was almost like an apology to her. I tell you, she's gonna be apologizing consistently. But I feel like it was like, you know, the climate wasn't good to just be throwing a party. After you all got from Scotland, you accused Porsha's mom, Miss Diane, of trying to sleep with your dad. You also accused Miss Diane of being, and I'm just gonna be real. To sum it up, this is not what she said verbatim, but what I took from it, you were accusing Miss Diane of being a hoe, alluding that that's why Porsha is a hoe, but also alluding that her daughter will follow in the same footsteps. As y'all heard, she said generations after generations after generations, which was so fucked up. So at this point, nobody wants to hang out with you. You know, people are already saying that, you know, the rest of the ladies are like Porsha's lapdogs. And even if that were true, why would you think that they would go to a party that you're hosting? Like, it just absolutely makes no sense. So let's get started with this recap, because I just finished watching the last episode of this season. And I just watched part 1 of the reunion. So while I'm at work, I'm going to be editing the fuck out of these videos because I want to go ahead and get into the ultimate girls trip, because Miss Nene Leakes has made an appearance. Shamea invited everybody to the Halloween party, and for the first time this season she invites Porsha when it doesn't even count. Now mind you, remember earlier this season she had a party for Gerald's, like this Kenyan African theme, and she did not invite Porsha, all while Porsha's daughter was still coming over to her house for play dates. So it's like, you're okay with my daughter coming over for play dates, but you can invite me to a party? I don't think Porsha was even hard up, but I felt like it would have took their friendship in a different direction. Because remember, Porsha did invite her to her Mystic Couples theme party, which was featured on this season, episode 1, where all the couples came, and then Shamea came, but Shamea came extremely late and said, well, Porsha came to my event late. That happened like a season ago. So why are you trying to crucify her for something that happened a season ago? And y'all got over it. I don't know. So that's it. So K, Michelle, and Angela did a couples yoga thing with their husbands, and I actually followed the girl whose business that was featured on it, and I said I would do something like that. And Angela asked K, Michelle, because I gotta have my notes here so I don't go off tangent, if she has spoken to Shamea since returning, since basically returning back to Scotland. K Michelle says they haven't spoken, and I think this episode was when the relationship between K Michelle and Shamea starts to, it starts to like go down. All right, so now I've been saying that ever since episode 9 that Shamea is a bone carrier, but Shamea is very messy. And as I said earlier, I don't believe that people are like dogpiling on Shamea for next to nothing. The person on this franchise who they dogpile on for next to nothing is Drew. Now group chat, let me know in the comments, were y'all shocked that K Michelle and Shamea stopped talking after coming to Scotland? Do you think that, because you know they're about to start filming season 18 for Real Housewives of Atlanta, do you think that with everything going on, their friendship will survive? I don't see it. So Shamea decides to invite Porsha to her Halloween party, and Porsha respectfully declined. Why the fuck would I want to come to your party after all that shit you said? Their friendship is completely over. I don't see them becoming friends again, not even 5 years from now. I would be very shocked. But it also goes to show, if you see Porsha's personal life, like with her dating, when you're actually having fun in your personal life and you're actively dating and you have someone who is really making you happy, there is really no need to be around things that, you know, doesn't protect your peace. You don't have to tolerate anything because you're so happy in your own little realm. And with this situation, I feel like Porsha did a good job. Shamea, I wouldn't came to your shit either. So Shamea's rum bum concept, I think the rum, I remember I was excited for the rum, but I think the rum is not going nowhere, y'all. It's not gonna be on the shelves. People making rum out the size of their bum is crazy. But the game at the party was like a really good concept. But Shamea decides that with this party, she invites all the ladies, I feel like strategically, because she wants to vindicate herself. So she invites George and George's wife, Ashley. And that's where the confrontation comes. And Angela comes in after everybody's sitting down. And I feel like almost like ambush. And Angela held her own. And the way George was stuttering when confronted and asked, "Did you mean this?" What? I could tell either Ashley is a bird or Ashley's there for the money, because no husband of mine is going to be playing around and talking like that amongst another woman. I don't play that, because if the roles were reversed, he wouldn't like that. So I think Ashley was doing the most, because I mean, you already clarified it. You got a little cameo on the show, but even after, she kept going on social media talking so much shit, and I'm like, you're not going to be casted. Not even as a friend of the show. Because this situation with George and Shamea is so minute. Nobody really even fucking cares. Plus, Porsha already said, allegedly, that Shamea is fucking a well-known pastor indicator. Not her pastor, but a pastor. And she also has some men on her roster. And she's been cheating on Gerald. And while Porsha is not the most credible person sometimes, I believe Shamea absolutely has had multiple affairs on Gerald. I believe that. Now, group chat, let me know, do you feel like Angela was vindicated? Because the rest of the girls thought Angela was vindicated. But, of course, Kelly and Shamea are like, are y'all slow? She went to this man's wife, which is her neighbor, to get dirt on me, and it backfired. And when she couldn't get concrete dirt, it's almost like she made it up. Now, as much as I'm so annoyed with Shamea, Angela, don't do that again. Don't do that again. Don't fucking do that again. But also, now that Porsha has put it out there that Shamea has been, you know, having an affair on Gerald, was Angela wrong? Or was she early? Or was she right situation, wrong person? So K Michelle and Shamea meet up, and K Michelle asked her, like, hey, why would you say that about Porsha and Porsha's family in Scotland? And let me say this, I think this was another episode where I could tolerate K Michelle, but baby, you are not in the position to be questioning nobody about why they did that. Because when it's up to you and people questioning who are your sources that are fishing for information from you, you don't want to say anything. When you are in the heat of confrontation, you don't want to say anything. So you have to learn to face confrontation head on. That's why you're on the show. People want to see conflict resolution. So K Michelle and Shamea meet up, and K Michelle asked her, like, hey, why would you say that about Porsha and Porsha's family in Scotland? And let me say this, I think this was another episode where I could tolerate K Michelle, but baby, you are not in the position to be questioning nobody about why they did that. Because when it's up to you and people questioning who are your sources that are fishing for information from you, you don't want to say anything. When you are in the heat of confrontation, you don't want to say anything. So you have to learn to face confrontation head on. That's why you're on the show. People want to see conflict resolution. Now, group chat, this comes to the end of the recap for episode 16. Thank y'all so much for being patient with me, because y'all know as well as I do YouTube, I also still work a job. And sometimes working is so hectic. I just recently celebrated my birthday, which was the first week of August. And I had such an amazing time. I want to say this was the first birthday in a long time where I felt so much love. It almost felt almost like wow, foreign. And when I say foreign, you know, every time I have my birthday, I always travel. And I will say the last 2 birthdays were honestly like crazy. And this past year and a half, like, I've been in such a huge transition in my life where like sometimes I don't have the answer for a lot of things, but I know that I just keep going. And for my birthday, to have like my best friend fly down, she planned something nice for me. She got everybody together. We celebrated me. I got amazing gifts. You can see I have still some of my birthday stuff on my counter. And you know, have like a beautiful staycation plan. Like, it was amazing. And I got to also celebrate these things like with my dog. So it's so amazing to be able to go on a staycation and have my baby right here with me. And I realized like my dog loves hotels. Like, that was my dog's first time ever staying in a hotel. Mind you, I travel with him all the time, but all the places we travel are places like where we know people. Like, I have family and friends there. So for him to be in a hotel, like, he didn't act up. He enjoyed it. I got to take him on a nice walk in the city. He really enjoyed it so much. So I've just been in a really good headspace. It's still August. It's still my birthday month. And I'm just very grateful. I'm so grateful. This has been a great month. And it hasn't even like, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. So I'm so happy and grateful for like where my life is right now and where it is going. And I'm so happy that you all are here. I'm so grateful for my viewers, my subscribers. Let me tell you, I never give up. Never give up. I just crawled out of what felt like the most dramatic, darkest season of my life. I felt like it was so bad, y'all. I felt like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I can't take it anymore. And I pulled through, and that is worth noting, and that's also worth celebrating for. So I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video, because my goal is to record the last episode so that I can get it to y'all, because I'm so serious about this. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.